Hello and welcome to our class in organizational communication. What I like to call this course Communicating at Work, just to still emphasize that practical aspect of it, that organizational communication. Just sounds like such a theoretical title. But at the same time, I am a great advocate of theory. Let me stop here. Hello, welcome to our class in organizational communication. I'm Dr. Jerome Mahaffey. You can call me Dr. Jerome, Dr. J, Jerome, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't put a lot of stock in titles, though many of them are hard-earned, but I'm not one of those type. We have a class here called Organizational Communication. That's kind of a stuffy academic title, and I prefer to call this Communicating at Work, but I don't get to pick the names of the classes here. So we've got what we got, but I can put it on my slide. But I think that's really the way I would like to steer the course, is to help you become a better communicator in organizational environments, whether it's work, clubs, social activist type organizations, whatever it is you're involved in, communication happens. And the better we are at it, the better things go, the less likely we are to get mad at everybody and quit, because we'll know what's going on. And we'll bring a lot of theories in with this class also. And just to give you the big picture about organizations, how they work, organizational structural theories, we'll begin with that. I'm going to slip in one of these chapters, a theory called corporate sociopathy by Clive Boddy, and talk about how sociopaths just tend to move up in organizations, primarily because they cheat. And we need to know about that. We need to know how to work with them, because they will be your bosses, probably as much as half the time. And you know, there are some that are criminal and others that are actually pretty good people, but they do have certain tendencies you need to know about in order to fit in well with organizations. Being that it's 2021 here as I record this, we have this whole movement going on in the country called critical race theory, the woke movement, and I'd like to slip a early unit in on critical race theory and give you hopefully a healthy perspective of it, because what you're getting from the media and from activists isn't very healthy, and it's causing a lot of division in the country that really mostly doesn't need to be there. And a moderate look at critical race theory, acknowledging what's really going on out there, but also acknowledging what's really going on out there and trying to find that balance point that is sensible. That's kind of the world I come from, being a scholar of rhetoric, actually. My teaching style, I use videos like this because I want you to get to know me. I'd like you to recognize me if you see me on campus, or if you feel like you want to come to my office, you know who you're looking for, and have heard my voice, have gotten some, let's call it intuitive reasoning conclusions about who I am based on fragments that I give you in these lectures. I'll try to give you a bunch of fragments here today. So that's why I'm doing the videos. It is a lot of work, and I do have a background teaching TV production, so that makes it a little easier for me. But it's also kind of fun. I'm here on campus this semester, and most semesters I'm here on Wednesdays only. I teach online almost exclusively, except when we have some emergency and a gap to plug in the department, then I take over that. I want to keep this class relevant. I don't want to get too theoretical, or if we are getting all theoretical on you, let's keep it at ground level, where we can get our hands on it, get our hands dirty, and keep things practical here. In this course also, I do my best to teach you to write, and I've written about I think I've shortened it down to 20-something pages, a little primer, or maybe you've got the long one here in this class, with what I've learned about writing over the last couple of decades as I've endeavored to become a better writer. I don't know that anybody truly arrives at writing. I have found one level you reach where you get jealous about other people's writing, and that means you're starting to get better at it yourself and care about it. But then there's the next level you reach where actually when you see somebody write something good and just do an excellent job, you're just pleased. And you cheer them on and say, write more like this. And that's probably the level I'm at. I don't know what levels of writing are above my head. I tended to go into academic writing and for the most part, but I like to do some fun humorous writing as well. And I do like to slip in a little bit of humor throughout the course. That if you think I'm trying to make a joke, I probably am. I just have that low-key personality that makes it obvious that I'm doing stand-up comedy or sit-down comedy in this sense. In my crooked chair with my shoulders all crooked. Let's see if I can get balanced out here. That's a little better. All right, so I'll do my best to teach you to write. I think we can certainly get you up to a level where you're going to have no problem going into your senior thesis project and getting that written up. And communicate with me. If you're having issues, problems with the course, don't assume that I'm going to treat you like most other teachers will, that you've missed 2 assignments, you might as well drop out, because I'm not going to deal with you. No, I'll take your emails, I'll tell you what you need to do to get caught up, I'll give you strategies for completing a course, even if you're way behind and getting a C still. We really just need to get a C and graduate. Unless you're planning on graduate school, I wouldn't put that much stock in getting grades above a C. Certainly don't stress over it. If it's your favorite subject, dig in and dive in. But if it's one of those subjects, for me it was algebra, I couldn't get better than a C on any test in algebra. And you know, it's okay. It hasn't slowed my career down a bit. And actually, I did learn some math, and I got an A in statistics. And that's been very helpful. So maybe you're just taking the wrong kind of math, or we're requiring the wrong kind of math. Statistics is what you need to take. Statistics and how to manage money. That's the other kind of math we don't teach anywhere, and you need to learn it. Okay, communicate with me, and we will find a way through whatever maze you're in, and if you really do need to just drop the class, I'll be honest with you about that as well. All right, so my expectations are that you read the book. We've got a quiz to go with every chapter. Write up the assignments. We have discussion posts that you'll be writing up. I ask you to do a couple of things to help you get your feet in the real world before you write these up. Be on time for class. Yeah, keep on the schedule. You don't have to watch these lectures Monday morning, but watch the lectures and do your readings early in the week. I would watch the lecture first and then read the book. Maybe it's better if you read the book and then watch the lecture first. What a debate. There's arguments either side of this debate that one is better for learning. But actually, you're the one that gets to decide that, what works best for you. Skipping the book altogether is going to hurt you in the class. Not watching the lectures, probably better to get away with that, because I'm tending to just try to explain what's in the book, and if the book is making perfect sense, then we're on. For lectures like we're doing critical race theory, this particular textbook, pictured right here and right here in my hand, doesn't have a chapter on that. It says a little bit about it, but it mostly leaves this out, and it is very important in organizations today. In fact, I'm mired in a whole bunch of training classes here at NAU to teach me how to be sensitive. Everybody has to take these. So all organizations are probably doing something like this. This 8 weeks, maybe it's 7.5. Something's going on with NAU scheduling, and we have a semester here that starts on a Thursday, and that's just not right. Needs to start on a Monday. So I'm not sure what's going on. They've also shortened this semester by a few days somehow for some reason, and I am not privy to the information as to why. But this 7.5 weeks will go faster than 8 weeks will, and the 8 weeks goes fast. So again, communicate with me if you're not quite able to keep up. and I can try to give you some of that advisor advice on how to navigate your way through all these courses if we need to. All right, on these assignments, we have a quiz for each chapter. Read the book, take the quiz. I'd take it right away while it's still fresh. Discussion forum posts, I think we have about 4 of those. I can't quite remember, maybe there's 6, I'll look at it again. But we've got one, I think on 4 different weeks. And these aren't too difficult, you're just showing me that you're getting out and getting your hands dirty, so to speak, with people. Well, not COVID type dirty. Should I wear a mask while we do the lecture? I guess that would be way over the top, wouldn't it? They made me wear the mask teaching in class last year, but we still have masks on around campus. The beauty of an online course is, of course, we don't need them. I'll leave it on the desk. All right, we have essays to write, 4 essays. At this point, I'm considering dropping one of those. We'll see what happens. I won't ask the class for a vote. I know it would be a unanimous vote. I need to make a pedagogical decision here on that. And it's frankly, can I get them all graded in time is what it may come down to. And if that's the case, I may put that particular essay into a discussion post format and change up the points for the course. I actually haven't had time to do all this before the class started because I've been running behind since COVID started. And hopefully this semester and by next spring I'll be back to normal, even though we may still be wearing masks and all that. All right, late policy. Turn in your stuff late. I'm not mad at you. I'll take a point off each day on these discussion posts and on your essays you write for being late. You know, so if you need an extra day, an extra 2 days to get an essay written, what's 2 points off? You need an extra week, that's 7 points off. Oh, you're still probably going to get an A, or you could get an A, but do a better job. But certainly don't stress over this. And I tell a story on our assignment and late policy page about turning in a paper at the end of class. Actually, I realized I forgot to bring it to class at Arizona State University. I literally ran down to the computer lab, printed that thing. I didn't run, I walked really fast. And I walked really fast across campus to turn it into that professor's office. And I think I got there 2 minutes after he got to his office with the stack of papers in hand. And I gave it to him and he marked 10% off. Yeah. Moving on, I don't want to do that to you. So if it's late, yeah, point a day. I've got to have some little goad to keep things coming in, and this is what I have found that helps the most, keeps you on track, doesn't destroy your chances for a good grade in the course if things aren't going well for you, you have a tough week, the kids are sick or whatever. I also know you're not, typically not freshmen living in the dorms here on campus with all kinds of distractions calling your name. So that's essentially the late policy. Read it. Okay, so who am I? I'll just take a few minutes here and talk about where I come from and what I'm bringing to a class like this. I'm a scholar of rhetoric, an expert in persuasion, if you will. I could teach marketing. I have taught marketing, and I have taught advertising, public relations in the past. I've taught rhetorical theory, rhetoric, the art of persuasion, sometimes the art of bullshitting people. Yeah, it's both, depending on the character of the person doing the persuading. Organizational communication was my secondary emphasis area throughout graduate school. I came from the world of work for about 15 years before I even went to college, in construction management, actually. I've also studied economics ever since my retirement account got blown up in 2009. I decided to find out what makes this economy tick. And a lot of that sneaks into my teaching because I really don't like how our economy is structured, and isn't it interesting out there? Social change was another area. I had a sociology minor at Arizona State University and studied social change, and of course rhetoric is totally involved in changing how the world works. And I've been teaching since 1995 when I became a teacher at Syracuse University as a graduate student, and have been doing this full-time ever since. Okay, personally, I'm an artist. Haven't painted in a long time. My dad's an artist and has done quite well for himself and made a name for himself in art. He's also a musician, so of course, a little boy becomes a musician and an artist. Want to be just like Dad. And at some point there, I guess I got all rebellious as a teenager, and when I was 18, I dropped out of college and became an electrician, and actually started wearing a cowboy hat for a few years. You know, when your dad's a hippie artist and you rebel, if you get all rebellious, where do you go? You gotta wear a cowboy hat, I guess. Became a journeyman electrician. Still hold that journeyman's ticket with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. On occasion over the years, I've done electrical work during summers, just depending, not so much lately. Did work as a construction manager that whole time, and that's probably where a lot of my stories come from about management to go with this course. Got into script writing as I learned to become a writer, and as actually one of my students that approached me, Diane Shriver. And she had quite a background in script writing and just needed somebody, a male, to help her write this romantic comedy idea she had. So we wrote a romantic comedy. It's hard to sell a script and make $1 million and retire. I've got one friend that did it, but our script didn't sell, and then romantic comedies got the boot out of Hollywood about that same time. Lately I've been writing for an investment blog, not the past year, but I've written probably 50 articles for that blog, and that's been fun based on the economic interest here. So kind of as a person, that's who I am. Growing up as a kid, yeah, I was a hippie, so was my younger brother there and my stepsister, and we had an interesting family traveling around with our artist father, who would take us to places like this, Canyon de Chelly, and take pictures of us, and he would do sketches and color studies with his watercolors, and we got to go all over the Southwest as a family looking at stuff. Went through a strange period of my life where I became that cowboy, and here I am playing the guitar at some wedding somewhere, I can't remember. One of my favorite pictures with my daughter, who's now I think 28, but there we are in Indianapolis with the Robert, Indiana sculpture of love. It got made into the postage stamp back in the 60s, I think it was the 70s, back when the hippies were everywhere. And there she is, all grown up next to me. There's my wife on the other side of this strange Republican person that we got to know and went on his television show one day to talk about politics and my specialty, which is political rhetoric mixed with religion. Okay, there I am with that old cowboy hat and rounding up some little critters there at a friend's house. There I am in construction. Once you learn one trade, you got to do every single trade, and you just learn how to work with tools. And so there I am up on a roof, putting on a metal roof on a house, and kind of enjoying learning to do something new. And that should bring us to about the end of this lecture. Well, I didn't want to talk about myself too much, just enough to give you a feel for who I am, and you can make your own decision as this class goes on. I do teach a number of other classes all online. If you like this one, maybe you like one of those too. All right, organizational communication, let's dive in and do the best we can this semester. And it's going to go fast, so try to keep up as best you can. At the end of the semester, we should have a few days when we say school is out, but I haven't turned grades in yet. And you can have all those days to help you finish up some assignments if you need them. All right, you have a great day. Thanks for watching.